But before starting this session, let us introduce myself. This is Naveen. I'm dealing this Microsoft SQL BI from past 3 years as a trainer, and I have almost 9 years of experience in terms of Microsoft BI work experience. Right, I'll be dealing with this SQL BI, which includes SSIS as the ETL tool, SSRS and SSAS. Both the SSRS and SSAS are reporting tool. Like before starting this, can we have a brief introduction how your work experience or any experience in terms of SQL? Can you please introduce yourself?
I don't have any work experience in SQL, but I can write SQL queries very well. I've done a little bit of integration training. That's all I have. I don't have much working experience.
Like what type of integration? Is it a SSIS or how it is?
Yeah, SSIS.
Okay. But uh, let us start with the purpose of Microsoft and how we are going to use that. But this Microsoft BI, like which will be this will be the combination of SSIS, SSRS, and SSAS. But as you already know, SSIS is a ETL tool, and SSRS, SSAS were reporting tools. Right? Before starting understanding this, like what is the purpose of SSIS? Any idea about that?
Extracts all the data from different databases and stores the data in the form.
Okay. Right. SSIS is used to extract all the data from source systems. It can be any of the heterogeneous sources. We are loading into the data warehouse, not into the cube format. We are loading this data into the data warehouse, right? Extract the data from different sources, load into data warehouse, right? This is ETL tool can be used for loading the data into data warehouse or any of the migration, like from lower version of databases to higher version if you are moving. In that case also you can load the data from one database to other database. Simply we can say moving data from one database to other database. Right? Generally we use across data warehouse this SSIS tool. And then what is the purpose of reporting tools?
Once the data is loaded, it has it's reporting basically, generating valid reports depending on the data, depending on the queries, different type of graphs.
Now my question is, what is the purpose of reports at all?
To generate valid information.
Any other specific reasons? We already know that report is just a valid information, but there would be some purpose of reports for us.
What is the, sorry?
Sorry?
What did you ask, sorry?
We already know that reports give some meaningful information or something like that, but then what is the purpose of that meaningful information?
For the business purposes, for the businesses to, for the business owners to make more informed decisions, I guess.
Exactly. Right. Reports are nothing but based on the metrics which are available in the database. Like we will take that metrics and we will understand where we are lagging and how to improve the performance of the business, right? If you are lagging, we will improve the performance, or if you wanted to increase the sales or something like that, like we can take that specific report, what types of goods are selling at what specific time, and all those things we can analyze, and then we can improve the performance of the business. Like here we have SSRS and SSAS. SSAS is a cube generating tool. From that we can generate a report from SSAS cube, and then after generating the cube you can use SSRS to generate the reports, right? This is how SSRS and SSAS will work in terms of Microsoft BI. Let us have a small presentation with respect to this. Like, right, like my quick question is like, why Microsoft BI? Like we have many other ETL and reporting tools in the market. Is there any specific reason of Microsoft, most of the small and medium scale industries were going with Microsoft BI?
I'm not sure why.
Right. Let us see that in this presentation. But as I said, this Microsoft Business Intelligence is the combination of ETL and reporting tools, right? Like the next slide will be what is why Microsoft BI. The reason of Microsoft BI is the cost comparisons with respect to the market competitors like IBM, Oracle products. The base product cost variations with this is in this format, right? Like if you add some more features like manageability, like the cost variations are being is increasing with respect to the two products, installed two products. And the business intelligence features. Business intelligence is nothing but a combination of ETL and reporting tools, includes the cost variations like this. Whereas if you go with Microsoft BI product, it is free with the base product itself, right? And high availability. High availability is nothing but, based on the data volume, the database should be available across the globe for all the users. Based on that, the manageability features and the high availability will increase the cost features, because whereas in Microsoft it is available with the base product itself, but in Oracle and IBM we need to specify how many users will access all those details, right? And whereas multi-core is nothing but at a particular point of time you wanted to achieve multiple tasks with the same processor or all those details. Like you have to, the software system should support for multi-processing. For that, the cost variations are like this. Finally, the comparisons are like this in terms of investment to buy a software. This is the reason most of the medium and small scale industries are going with Microsoft BI. Right? The first basic thing is cost variations, and the second thing is user friendly and easily we can learn with this Microsoft BI. These are the two main things which helps us for a small and medium scale industries to go with Microsoft BI. Right? Any questions on this?
No.
Oh, as I said at the beginning of this session, we are going to use this Microsoft BI on data warehouse. Before that, let us understand what is data warehouse. Any idea about data warehouse?
Um, yeah, I guess it's just, as the name suggests, it's just a bigger database where all the small database can be stored.
Okay. As the name indicates, data warehouse is nothing but a warehouse where all the historical data will be placed. Right? Like historical data, it can be n number of years, like 30, 40, 50, 60 years of data. As the indicates is a big warehouse, right? There is no specific limitation of in terms of size of data, right? That is nothing but data warehouse. Now let us understand who have defined the warehouse and who are those authors. These are the two authors who have defined the data warehouse definition, Ralph Kimball and Bill Emmon. Like according to them, like data warehouse is nothing but subjective collection of data. Right? Simplest terms, warehouse can be defined as collection of data marts. Data mart is nothing but subjective collection of data. Like simply we can say in an organization, if you are going to define a data warehouse, like we will define the table structures with respect to each department. Like to store the entities of data, we will define the data with respect to departments, right? That is nothing but a data mart. To identify which is sales data, which is like inventory or promotion data, like we will define our table structures in such a way as a data mart. The segregation of table structure with respect to each department is nothing but a data mart, right? And according to Bill Iman, what he says that it's a meaningful information, subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant, and non-volatile collection of data, which is used for management decision-making process. He meant to say that it's a historical data, which used to take decisions on the business based on the previous metrics. Right? This is a simple meaning what we can understand with this. Right? And coming to the next one, where we are going to use this data warehouse. This data warehouse can be used across any of the ERP systems where ERP is using. Right? ERP is using in many of the places. Like it's a software which is used to run the transactional system. Now let us say if you go to supermarket, you buy some goods, they will bill something and they will give to pay something, right? Once you pay the bill, the transactions will be entered into the ERP system, right? After that, after a few days, the data from the ERP system will be moved to the data warehouse, right? This is for their internal audit purpose they are doing to generate the reports and then everything, right? The similar approach, you can see all this data warehouse approach will be seen in any of the ERP across ERP systems, right? And business intelligence is nothing but reports, data mining, dashboards, and KPIs. KPI is nothing but key performance indicators, which helps us to define our improvements in terms of business by seeing the reports. The way of representation of the reports, by that a user can understand how to improve the performance of the business, right? Like example, steering, mirrors, brakes, dashboard will help you how smoothly you can reach your target in a smoother manner if you are driving a car. Any questions on this?
No.
Moving on to the next slide. This is the data warehouse architecture. It is not specific to Microsoft BI or something else. It is unique and it will be used across all the ETL and reporting tools. Right? Operational source system is nothing but the source system, transactional system called as OLTP, Online Analytical Processing System. And then this is the data migration. In terms of us, SIS as a ETL tool will use data migration from source system to data storage area as data warehouse. Right? And then analysis tool, data analysis, it can be SSAS and SSRs. This is a simple architecture which we use in data warehouse. Any questions on this?
No.
But coming to the practical scenario in terms of Microsoft BI, as I said, like we have heterogeneous databases like OLTP, SQL Server or Oracle, IBM and CSV or some XML files. But I generally used to get the data in these formats, right? I need to load this data into data warehouse. For that, we will dump the data from different sources to the staging database first, and then we'll generate the cubes from the from staging database to data warehouse first. Then second step using SSIS, and then we'll generate the cubes in SSIS from the data warehouse, right? And then data marts, and then SSRS reports. SSRS reports can be generated directly from data warehouse also. If you really wanted to ignore the cubes, you can directly generate the report from data warehouse, or otherwise you can generate the cubes and generate the reports. If you are generating the data report from the cubes, you have to use a specific language called MDX, whereas if you're generating the report from data warehouse, then you have to use SQL language. Please quickly go through this slide. If you have any questions on this, please let me know.
What is the difference between ROLAP and MOLAP?
It's a kind of storing the data in terms of OLAP system. OLAP is classified into ROLAP and MOLAP. ROLAP is nothing but relational OLAP, relational online analytical processing, and MOLAP is nothing but multi-dimensional OLAP system. But once we start this SSAS concepts, I'll show you how the data will be stored in terms of ROLAP, MOLAP, in terms of data storage.
Okay. What is OLTP?
OLTP is nothing but online transaction processing, which is a source system for us. All the data, like as I said in the earlier example, if you're going to a supermarket, you're buying something. The transaction what you made on that specific day, that data will be stored immediately in the transaction system called OLTP.
Okay.
Clear, right?
Okay.
Moving on to the next slide. Let us understand the basic differences between OLTP and OLAP system. OLTP, online transaction processing, online analytical processing. And this OLTP is used for day-to-day business purpose, purchasing, inventory, banking, manufacturing, payroll, registration, accounting, etc. Whereas OLAP, data analysis and decision-making process for historical analysis. And in terms of the rules of creating the table structures, we follow normalized form in the OLTP. Here we follow denormalized format. These are set of rules to create the database table structures in terms of OLTP and OLAP system. Right? And we call the objects as tables. All the masters and transactions are stored in the tables in the OLTP. And whereas in data warehouse, we call it as dimensions and facts. All the master information will be stored in the dimensions and transaction information will be stored in the fact tables. We have split the data in two formats, masters and transactions. Right, masters are nothing but like, if you take the same example of the supermarket, in a supermarket we will have hundreds of products. Like all the information related to the product in data warehouse you will get in the DIM product as a master. DIM is nothing but the prefix, dimension, product. I'll show some example how data will be in terms of dimensions and facts. Right? Now, for designing OLTP, we use data modeling. For designing OLAP, that is a typo. OLAP, we use dimension modeling. And dimension modeling, OLAP is classified into two types, MOLAP and ROLAP. That's what I said, like the storage settings in terms of data warehouse queues. Right? Any questions on this?
No.
Now, that's it about the presentation. Before that, let us quickly just understand what is dimension and what is fact. Right. This is adventure work data warehouse database. This is created by Microsoft. I'm using that as a sample. Here I have a table called dim product. You can see all product related information dim product. If you execute this table, you can see product information which is available in this specific table with respect to product key and product information like product name. All the types of attributes which will be available related to this product. And now I have a specific table called transaction table. Internet sales is a e-com which will provide the information of the sales with respect to the product. You can see there is a relation between that table and this table called product key. And in this table, you will have the sales information like unit price, extended price, how much quantity is being sold, what is the sales amount, tax amount, freight. All these details will be available with this fact internet sales. Right. If you wanted to get some information from both the tables, then we'll use a simple join. Hope you would have already known about the joins. Product as DP, join, fact, internet sales, FS on DP dot product key equal to FS dot product key. And then I wanted to understand what sales amount with respect to the product. Sales amount, comma, English product name. These were the two fields which I wanted to see. Right? Now I wanted to get the aggregated information, sum of sales amount with respect to the product. For that I'm going to use group by English product name. You can see we have the aggregated information with respect to the product. This is the sales amount. Any questions on this?
No.
Right, that's it. If you have any questions related to the course or something, you can ask me. The current version which we are going to discuss in training will be 2012 version, right? Like which starts with SSIS, RS and AS. The course will be, duration will be 1 month. Like daily will be dealing for 1 hour. But we'll have assignments as well, like you have to work it out on that assignments on a daily basis. And then you have to submit to me. That's how the approach will continue.
Okay.
Right.
I don't have any questions.